Hello, welcome. What are you doing here? How'd you get in here, actually? So this video is going to be a little bit different from every other video that I've ever made ever in the history of forever. Meaning that I'm not going to be reading off of a script this time. I'm just going to explain things how they are and talk about my opinions from basically my point of view without stopping, really. So, welcome to a long form video. You know, if you're new, hit that fat like button, you know, hit subscribe. You know, I don't talk like that ever. Pokemon Day is coming up next month. If this video gets out before February, I don't think it will. It's probably going to be late February or maybe late January, or not late February, early February. Hopefully early. Please don't. I don't want to conjure that up, okay? I want this video out before Pokemon Day comes out, which is the 28th? The 27th. I think it's the 27th. I don't know. They haven't released any American news about it yet. They've only released Japanese news, which, you know, you can only do so much with a translator, so I can't be completely sure, but Pokemon Day this year, they have claimed it will be the best Pokemon Day ever. They're like, oh, this is going to be the best one yet. And I'm like, we're going to see. We're definitely going to have to see if that's correct. But there are a lot of things. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be watching this. A lot of people are going to be expecting certain things, wanting certain things, and there's going to be stuff that we don't want to, you know? Everybody's different. But for this video, I'm going to be talking about what I personally want to see, what I don't want to see, and what I think we're going to see. Because, you know, I'm realistic. I'm a realistic person. I know that most of the stuff I want is probably not going to show up here, and that's fine, you know? We could all just want things, but this is a bit different. This is a bit different. So, I have a few bullet points here, and I'm just going to talk probably not very briefly. I'm probably going to go on a tangent about everything. So, you know, buckle up, strap down, get some food, get some snacks. What do you have in your house? Share them with me. The first thing that I really, really want, and this is like, there's probably a lot of different people who also want this, and I didn't put like a specific thing. All I put was I want something related to Gen 5. Literally anything. I don't care if it's a new game. I don't care if it's a side game. I don't care if it's a sequel or if it's a remake. I want something related to Generation 5. I'm a Generation 5 lover. I know a lot of people really like Generation 5. Some people argue it's overrated. I don't care. Okay, I couldn't, bro, I don't give a rat's ass. Okay, I love Generation 5. I've loved Generation 5 since the day I was born. Yeah, no, my first Pokemon game was Pokemon White, and that really got me into Pokemon. And then I played Pokemon White 2, and I was like, bro, this is the best. I don't care what anybody else says. I made up my mind already. Nothing will beat this. And it kind of, you know, my opinion kind of stayed the same. 10 years later, I still feel the same way, you know? I feel like Pokemon Black and White is like just the best Pokemon game. I love Pokemon Black and White so much. I can argue about this generation as long as I physically can talk for. Like, I'm a die-hard Gen 5 lover, okay? Now, as much as I love Gen 5, I can also recognize that it seems like Game Freak either hates Gen 5 or loves Gen 5, because they haven't done a Gen 5 thing in very, very long, and I'm not counting Blueberry Academy little DLC thing at the end of Scarlet and Violet. That's like, whatever, you know? Like, it was cool, it was fun. I liked hearing the remixed themes for stuff. But at the same time, it's like, bro, that's not Black and White. Like, come on, bro, that's not Black and White. You can't do that. You can't mess around like that, man. I want some sort of Generation 5. Generation 5 has not been able to make it to 3D. A lot of other games got their, you know, their reboot or their remake or their Legends game. Like, Sinnoh had BDSP and it had Legends Arceus, which Legends Arceus is so good. Like, oh my gosh, bro, you guys were eating good, huh? Sinnoh fans. I'm not one of them, but like, you guys were eating good. Even though I'm not a huge Sinnoh fan, I can still recognize that Legends Arceus was really good. BDSP, We don't talk about BDSP. I won't even talk about it on your behalf. But like, oh my gosh, bro. Legends Arceus was so good. And then of course Kalos got their little Legends ZA. And I love Kalos. I'm a Kalos fan. Legends ZA was okay. So I appreciated that. Or as of course, people I've seen people say that they really want another like Gen 3 thing. Which I can say like, yeah, that's pretty fair. Gen 3 is really good. Like really, really good. So I can argue that, you know what, sure. Give us another Gen 3. I won't be upset. I actually have that on my list here. Where is it at? Something, I wouldn't mind if we got like Gen 3. Okay, I didn't put it on my list. I'm actually a liar. But I wouldn't mind if they did release like another Gen 3 related thing. If it was a Legends game, that'd be cool. If it's another remake, that would also be cool. I loved Oraz. I played Oraz, like obviously I played all the games that came out for the 3DS in order. So I played X and then I played Alpha Sapphire, and I loved Alpha Sapphire literally to death. Like that was, to me, that was new, okay? To me, that was completely new. I hadn't played like any Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games, so I had no clue about Hoenn. But like, dude, that was a whole nother experience. Kyogre became my favorite legendary Pokemon. That is my son. So yeah, I don't mind if they do a little bit of Gen 3. I won't complain, you know? I won't complain. I do love Generation 3. I think that's my third favorite generation. So you know what? Hell yeah, I don't mind that as well. But the very next thing that I've put on this list, which honestly, I might want this more than I want something related to Generation 5, which is something related to Generation 2, because I love Johto. I don't care what people say about, oh, it's just second Kanto, it's Kanto but bad, there's nothing happening. Shut the hell up, okay? Because Generation 2 had so much of this cultural charm to it that I just love so much, dude. You can argue that the Pokedex sucks. I don't care. My favorite Pokemon is in that Pokedex, okay? I love Hoppip. Hoppip is like the mascot of this channel, bro. I love Generation 2. I love Generation 2, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver was like probably up there with being one of the best remakes next to Oraz. I think it literally is. Like, it's literally one of the best game remakes that we have, and you can't deny being in Johto and being able to travel to Kanto and do all the gym leaders there. Do you know how big that is? That is something that should have been like in our modern games now, but it's not. We were doing that stuff in 2010. Like, bro, it's been 16 years. Can we get something similar? Like, I've seen, I haven't actually looked at leaks and stuff because I don't like looking at leaks, okay? I've seen, my brother showed me some leaks, and he showed me a leak, or I guess some sort of like, it was either a leak or it was a theory or something that somebody posted on Twitter of like a new Pokemon game where we can traverse every single region. And I always looked at that as like, you wish, right? Like you wish we could travel every region. You wish we had a game where we can go to Unova and then go to Kalos and then go to Paldea. Like, you wish we had a region like that. That's what fan games are for, right? But on the off chance that they actually make something like that, I wouldn't be upset either. I mean, hey, I think that's something that we've all kind of wanted before. Like a game where we can go to every single region. That would be so good. And Johto built that, okay? Johto placed that brick. Placed that brick there. And you have to give it some sort of respect or acknowledgement for that. And I just think that Johto is so good. And like, even though it was like, you know, meant to be Kanto the second or whatever, Pokemon 2 is literally what it was called before they changed it. It was an experiment, you know. Pokemon Red and Blue did so good, or Red and Green, whatever, did so good. They wanted to keep going. They needed to keep going. So they were just experimenting with what they can do with the second game. And I think that has a charm to it itself, okay? I think Generation 2 is great. And I think a Legends Johto game, I would probably have a stroke and a heart attack if it was revealed that we're getting a Legends Johto game. Because, dude, I'm saying something about that cultural significance of like, it's probably Japanese culture, That stuff is so peak. Like, bro, come on, that stuff is so peak. It's like the reason I watch anime and do all this stuff in the first place. Japanese culture is just so awesome and so interesting, and I love learning about it. And Johto basically just had that. That was like Johto's entire thing, and I adore that. So this is the last major bullet point that has to do with Pokemon games, and I'm gonna just drop my little theory here, everyone. Legends Galar, which I have seen a few leaks for that potentially being our next Legends game. I have a huge theory about the kings of that game and who they were, and if we really are seeing the darkest day like happen, like the actual one, I want to see AZ, okay? I'm pretty sure AZ was the king of Kalos, we know this, but AZ also had a younger brother who was king of another region. AZ's younger brother was definitely the king of Galar, and we're gonna see either AZ in his prime or AZ's younger brother and what happened, and we're gonna see the both of them come together to stop the big evil. That's my little theory, right? If we get a Legends Galar game, which I wasn't even excited for, if we get a game like that, and we get to see AZ in his prime, I'm set, all right? I am set. Call me whatever you want to call me, okay? I get called so many horrible things all the time for just liking AZ. Look, call me whatever you want, okay? I also have written down here something with red and blue. I feel like we haven't seen red and blue, like, in a long time. Like, the last time we saw them was in Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Where the hell are they? They're like the staple of Kanto, are they not? Like, we need them to return immediately. Like, I feel like I kind of miss them. I miss them a lot. You know, I really like red and I really like blue. I think that they should be occurring again. I've seen people in my server say that they want more Kanto / Legends Kanto game, and I'm like, do we want that really? Like, are we being serious? Are we /SRS right now? Because I don't know, I feel like Kanto has had enough. But at the same time, I can't deny I do like the Kanto region. There's a lot of things I don't like about Kanto. Plenty of things I don't like about Kanto. But Kanto gave me 3 of my favorite Pokemon characters and my favorite, like 3 of my favorite Pokemon, like Gyarados, Dragonite, Lapras. I absolutely adore those Pokemon to death, and Kanto gave us that, so I gotta give it some slack, you know. I'll give credit where it's due, but at the same time, I feel like Kanto, if it does have another thing, / if it wants to make another thing, I will give it some leeway. I will let it do what it does, but only because, like, it deserves to kind of get that get back after Let's Go, because Let's Go was so terrible, bro. Let's Go was so buns. I had to force myself to play that game and finish it. I bought it in 2016, 2017, 2018, whenever the hell it came out. I think it was 2017. I bought it with my first Switch ever and played 30 minutes of it and ditched it. I only recently finished it last year. I had to force myself to go back and play that game. That was we'll just say it was a problem, okay? That was a problem. I'm glad this is like their third, you know, this is like, hey, this is Pokemon's big 30 year. Kanto was where they began. They can probably fix something up or do something cool or fix what they did wrong. Okay, they can, I'm giving them another chance. Okay? Give Lance Mega Dragonite. Anyways, moving on to the next one, which is a new Pokemon animated YouTube series. I would kill for something like this. Now, if you've been with me on my channel for a while, you would know that my first video on this channel was comparing the Pokemon YouTube series, like the little shorts that they do, Pokemon Generations, Pokemon Evolutions, basically those little mini-series that they made about the Pokemon regions, specifically parts from our video games, not Ash Ketchum, and I compared it to the anime, and I was showing how terrible the anime is compared to their little YouTube mini-series. If they give us another YouTube mini-series, I will be so satisfied, especially since the last one ended with Galar. Now we can do Paldea, and we can also throw in ZA if you want to. We can get Paldea. I'll take the DLCs too, because Blueberry Academy had its own characters, Kitakami had its own characters, the story with Kyron and everything else. That was cool. So I will take that as an animated thing as well. But dude, oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. They are animated so beautifully. I want that. I really want that. I really want that. I really want another animation like that. And I will specifically want an animation with ZA, like because ZA is the big, the big game that just came out, and they could definitely animate something for that. It's only like, how many months has it been? It was since October. It's been a few months, The DLC came out in December, so I don't expect that. But like, I would hope you wouldn't animate the ZA DLC. Oh my god, so garbage. But I would be very satisfied. I would be very, very satisfied. Now we're gonna move on to minor bullet points. These are things that I want in the Pokemon Day, but not really badly. I wouldn't mind if we went without them, but I would enjoy seeing them if they were here. And we're starting with a new Johto-themed card pack. Now, I don't play the Pokemon card game. I don't even really collect Pokemon cards. I just buy Pokemon cards of like my favorite Pokemon and my favorite Pokemon characters. So I don't really like, I'm not like part of that fan base, but I do recognize that there are like really cool cards. Like, it's art, and art is like my favorite thing. So like when I see cool Pokemon art, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I want to see more Johto Pokemon or Lugia cards or Lance cards or anything, like I want to see more Johto themed Pokemon cards that I can collect and put in my little personal thingy. I also want to see ZA cards. That would be cool. I didn't actually write that down. Oh yes, I did. I put ZA merchandise. Any ZA merchandise, bro. I'll take like plushies, I'll take shirts, I'll take like, bro, ZA, bro. It was good. Let's start monetizing. Okay, let's start getting money off of this. Let's start getting money. Come on, y'all. Come on, Pokemon Company. You want money. But yeah, I appreciate Johto. I really do. I appreciate Johto, and I would love Johto-themed merchandise or Johto-themed cards or anything that they can do with the Johto region if they just decide, no Johto game, at least give us a little something else, A Pokemon Center in the US. Please, bro. Please. I know that there is a Pokemon-themed something in New York, and I'm going to New York next month anyway, so I'm thinking maybe I can go and check that out, but I want a Pokemon Center here, okay? When I learned that the Pokemon Centers were things where you can go in, basically, if you don't know what a Pokemon Center is, and you're only aware of the games, the Pokemon Centers in real life are like Pokemon-themed shops, where you can go in and buy a bunch of Pokemon-themed everything. They're mostly known for their Pokemon plushies. There's like a plushie of every single Pokemon, dude. Every single Pokemon, it has a plush, and they're butt cheap. Especially since they're all in like Taiwan and Japan. And that makes me very sad, because I want a Pokemon Center here where I can spend a lot of money like that. But to be fair, if they probably did that in America, they would probably up the prices a lot and stuff like that. And that would suck, obviously. But, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind going and splurging a little bit on some Pokemon, like, trinkets and whatnot. And I think that would be cool if they brought one here. Do they not like us that much? I mean, to be fair, I don't like Americans either, okay? This is something... Okay, I wrote this one down, but this is something that I've seen other people say. And that's retro games on the Switch. Now, as we all know, Pokemon has that Nintendo Switch Online subscription thing where if you get it with a certain whatever the hell extension, you can get like Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games or GameCube games. I heard that they just dropped. Did they do that? I think they did. That would be cool for Pokemon, right? I've seen people make predictions like, yeah, that's going to be in the next Pokemon Day. They're going to let us play Emerald and all that stuff. And I'm like, will Pokemon really do that? Will they really do that? Will they really give us these games for basically free? Like, I don't know. There is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games on the extension, but I'm like, would they do that for big Pokemon games like those, though? Like, I was hearing people say, oh, they're gonna add a DS extension and let us play like Diamond and Pearl and Black and White, and I'm like, whoa! Slow your horses there. I don't think they're gonna do all that, but it would be nice. It would be nice, okay? Basically, these are things that I would just hope for, hopium, bro, like copium. I put any niche merch drop. Blankets, clothes, and shoes. Basically, I just want more Pokemon merch. Which is crazy because there's plenty of Pokemon merch, unofficial and official. But like, I don't know, I would always be excited to see, like, if they just randomly was like, yo, Hoppip hat, I'd be like, yo, and point at my screen like a monkey. Like, I would be very, very excited over nothing, really. Which I think that's why I put niche, because I don't really care if it was like a big deal or not. I wouldn't care. You should take a drink every time you hear my phone notification go off, if you're a drinker. I know someone who's a really good drinker. Trust me, guys. One of my friends, all he does is drink. Anyways, we're gonna move on. Pokemon Concierge episodes. I don't know if any of you guys have actually watched Pokemon Concierge, but it's the series I got my mom and my sister into because it's like really cutesy and it's awesome and it's on Netflix and it's just adorable. It's about this Pokemon concierge. She moves to this Pokemon vacay island basically, and she learns to like love Pokemon, and honestly she learns to just relax, and it's a nice watch. It's a cute watch, and they recently dropped a few episodes in September last year, and I finished those, so give us more. Like, give us more episodes. That would be awesome. I would very much appreciate that. And that marks down everything for what I personally want to see in our Pokemon Day 2026. Now I'm gonna move on to things that I personally don't want to see in our Pokemon 2026. Okay? I don't want any more Pokemon Legends ZA extensions. No more DLCs, no more, oh, we're adding this, no more special events, no more. Okay, no more pay to win. I'm sick and tired of ZA now. Okay, and this could be based, all right? This could be super based that I'm saying this. But I lost interest in ZA after I finished their DLC. I didn't want to shiny hunt. I didn't even want to go and get all the other legendaries, like the Swords of Justice, the Eon Duo. I didn't feel like doing that. Because I was just sick and tired of it, bro. I was just sick and tired of it, and I just didn't feel like playing anymore. It felt like too much money. It felt like too much lack of passion. Like, they didn't care anymore. Like, they were just throwing stuff in our face to make us satisfied. I'm not satisfied. Okay, I don't want to see another extension. I don't want to see another thing added onto ZA. ZA is done. Please let it rest. Okay, we already have enough people hating ZA. What we don't need is more. Here's this for extended. If you want to keep playing, then pay me $20 and you can keep playing this. I don't want to use a bad word for ZA. I like ZA, okay? I liked ZA. It's just that the extensions and the DLCs and the stuff that they're making us pay for or do competitive gameplay for is annoying, okay? It's annoying and it's bland. I don't want any more of it. I really don't. Now this one, I wrote this one on here partly as a joke, but I put Volo in all capital letters. Look, I'm scared of Volo, okay? I know that Volo has been confirmed to be like alive and doing well, seemingly. I don't want to see that cretin anywhere in our new games. I don't want him to be time traveling, and I don't want him to come near me, okay? That is all. We're gonna move on. This one might actually be even more based than what I just said. And I kind of feel bad, but I put Gen 7 related anything. No, look. I'm not hating on Gen 7. When Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, I got excited and instantly got Moon, and I had fun when I played it. But that was when I was like 9, bro. I was like 9, and I didn't know anything, and I didn't care to know anything. And it especially became a problem when I got older and re-looked it over again. That game lacked a lot of different things. It lacked a lot of different things, and it didn't really do very good anyway. That's why people are like selling Sun and Moon still for like $15. It's like, bro, why would you ever sell a mainline Pokemon game for under $50? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? So like, it's just a personal gripe with me, okay? I'm sorry. I don't mind Generation 7. I actually made an argument a bit ago that Generation 7 was actually better than Generation 4. I don't think I still agree with that, but like, my favorite thing to come out of Generation 7 was the Pokedex. I didn't like anything else, really. The characters weren't really exciting. The story wasn't exciting. Nothing really excited me. It was nothing really entertaining. It was just kind of like, I don't know, it felt very bare, it felt very bland. It just didn't feel like a very fun to play Pokemon game. It just felt kind of, I don't know. It just didn't really, it's not really that good to me. I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. If you like Gen 7, I'm sorry. I liked Gen 7 at one point, I don't hate it. I just don't want to see another Gen 7 game. And I really wouldn't want to see a Legends Gen 7 game. At least not anytime soon, okay? Not anytime soon. How about that? I'll say that. I don't want to see anything Gen 7 related right now in this Pokemon Day. I also put down as a minor thing another Pokemon mobile game, which is like, I don't know. I heard about Pokemon Friends, which released last year, and it was like it was advertised to be a children's mobile game, but there was a lot of money involved, and they wanted you to really pay to win. It was kind of like Super Mario Run, that Mario game that was on mobile that you had to like pay to keep playing. That's kind of what it was. And it was advertised to be like child friendly because they wanted you to learn, and they wanted you to sort of, I guess children wanted children to learn, wanted children to connect, build puzzles, make like, I don't know, little cute Pokemon parades or something. I don't know, but I heard the game was terrible and not good because you had to keep paying. And there's like a YouTube video on my watch later, someone put like $50 into that game, and I'm like, what the hell? Why would you ever be able to put that much money into a game that's seemingly just meant for children to mess around with? Now, that was actually the end of everything I did not want to see, because I'm pretty open-minded to a lot of different things. I don't mind what Pokemon gives us for this Pokemon Day. I feel like I will be satisfied with most things. I feel like the only thing I won't be satisfied with is if they don't show us a lot of stuff, because they claim that this was going to be, big Pokemon Day, hooray, huzzah, and if that's the case, then I want to see big Pokemon Day, So now we're moving on to things that I am expecting to see. Things that I don't necessarily want or not want, but things that I expect will at least be talked about because it's, well, to be expected. Like the Pokopia update. As I was talking about earlier, they said, I can't recall when Pokopia was coming out. They said sometime this year, right? So they're probably going to talk about either go more in depth about Pokopia or maybe give us a release date if they hadn't already or something like that. That's what I feel like they're going to do because, Pokopia is like the next big little side game that they're making, so I expect to see something about it. Another thing I expect to see is Pokemon Champions, because I'm pretty sure that's releasing this year. I don't know if they said early 2026. Again, I put another question mark on this one because I'm like, I don't really pay attention to these things enough, do I? But Pokemon Champions is going to be coming out, and they're probably gonna talk about that too, because it's coming out, so it makes sense. And then the big thing, Generation 10. That's kind of what everyone's expecting / hoping to see. I didn't put Generation 10 in things that I want to see because it's not necessarily, like, I know I should be crazy excited for it, crazy hype, bouncing off the walls, Generation 10's coming, but I have to see it first, okay? I have started to lower my expectations for Pokemon because, Pokemon can slack sometimes. We all agree on this. Pokemon can be slacking. Pokemon could, do something a little unexpected, a little secret, a little surprise. So I don't want to get too excited for Generation 10. However, I have also put things that I also put things I'm not very excited for, like Pokemon Horizons. That's their little new anime, with Liko and Roy, and it's about Paldea and whatever, and I only watched 2 episodes of it before I realized, man, the Pokemon anime really just isn't for me. It doesn't matter that Ash Ketchum's not here. I just don't want to watch this shit. I was like, bro, let's just move on. Let's move on from the anime, man. It's not terrible. It's not bad. It's just that the Pokemon anime just really isn't for me. And I know that they're going to release more Pokemon Horizon stuff. They're already doing like this big season finale / new season thing. I don't know what it is, but they're probably going to show us some sort of Pokemon Horizons. They're also probably going to show us some sort of Masters EX character reveal, because they do that, like, I'm pretty sure every single year. After a few months, they usually do them. So I'm expecting that. I meant to get into Pokemon Masters last year. I tried, and then it was very not beginner user friendly, so it was hard to navigate and understand what I was doing, so I dropped it. But I want to get back into it again because it's very exciting, and of course it's like all about character drama and stuff, and I eat that shit up. Okay, I want that. But the most expected thing that I put on what I expect to see is Gen 1 everything, guys. This is the big 3-0, the big 30 years that Pokemon has been going for. And of course, Generation 1 is their first generation, so it makes sense that they're gonna probably show us a bunch of Generation 1 stuff. In fact, I expect to see at least one Kanto, like, not remake, because that's crazy. I expect to see something Kanto related, obviously, right? They're gonna throw fat little Pikachu at us because that's what they showed us on the little reveal thing. I'll show it right here. They showed little Pikachu, you know, the first design Pikachu when he was really short and stubby, which I arguably I think I like that one better than regular Pikachu today. They're gonna show us something to do with that, and that's gonna be just fine because it's to be expected. It's Pokemon Day, you know. It's 30 years of Pokemon. It's an anniversary, okay? Wow, if you sat through all of that and listened to me talk for however the hell long this video is, I gotta congratulate you, because my diaphragm hurts right now, and so does my throat, because I don't usually talk this long, and I'm really feeling the effects of it right now. But hey, if you really did stay to the end, I really appreciate that. I've had to have this water by my side because I keep coughing, because I don't talk this long and my throat is hurting. But thank you very much, and hey, what are you expecting to see for Pokemon Day? What do you want to see for Pokemon Day? Is there anything you don't want to see? And honestly, I'm gonna be so for real with you guys, I might have a heart attack and a stroke if they show anything that is really exciting. I might just freak out. But again, thank you very, very much. I hope to see, I hope that you get what you want, but I also get what I want, because, well, at the end of the day, I'm always right, so it's probably gonna be what I want anyway. See you later.